Stand together in the ocean, all together in a moment. Forget the weather, made the sand out of snow. Sand out of snow.
It's recording now.
So, what's up, man?
Not much, man. Not really been doing much. I'd be interested to know, by the way, have you been speaking much English at all?
No, so in advance, I have to say sorry.
No, I'm sure you'll be
I've been,
fine.
I've been reading in English a lot, and I've been
Oh, yeah.
listening, but I haven't been speaking, and that's annoying because I'm afraid that I'm gonna be lagging behind when I go back to UK.
I don't know, you sound all right to me, man. And I think that when you are listening and reading enough, I know that speaking is the best practice for it, but because you already know how to learn, speak the language, then you'll have less trouble going back to it. In fact, a native English speaker has more trouble often than you do. Myself, I'm often
You think so?
yeah,
You
well,
think-
yeah, sure.
I've been putting myself. I've been making myself read in English and stuff, and I've been still writing in English, just to keep the skill
Right.
going. But
Do you
I'm a bit afraid.
Sorry, I was going to say, do you dream in English still?
I had a dream in English today. I dreamt
Right.
of Limmy. You know Limmy? You know
Oh,
the
yeah,
guy
yeah.
from Edinburgh?
Yeah.
I've dreamt.
Yeah.
I had an amazing because I always think about sketches now because I want to come up with ideas for sketches, and it's really hard for me. Like I spend a few hours a day, and I cannot come up with anything. Like I've been
Yeah.
eating myself alive, and I've been watching lots of Limmy, and Limmy is a genius for me. So I had a dream today where in the dream I was very hard on myself for not coming up with any ideas, and then in the same dream I saw Limmy's sketch, which was a sketch my mind made up. It wasn't real,
Yeah,
and it was a
nice.
sketch my mind. And I looked at it and I was like, "This is genius! Why can't I come up with this?" This is a dream I had today.
Did you wake up and realize what the sketch was?
Oh, it was horrible. It's a bad idea.
Yeah,
It's,
I've done that.
it's something with eye surgeries and blind people.
Right. We'll work on it during this episode and see if we can make that work.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, I'll often I've had it once, twice where I've told the joke on stage in my dream, and then and it's gotten this amazing reception. I've woken up, it's just me going, dogs are like woof woof, crazy, right? But in the dream, it made perfect sense. It was the most profound, a bizarre joke you've ever
The
heard.
best joke.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so when you dream of yourself doing stand-up, do you fail the gig or do you usually do well?
No, I think I've definitely had some where it's just gone horribly. There's someone heckled me, or my dreams don't really go I went on stage, this happened, and it was bad. It was more I'm out in a field, and then all of a sudden I'm on stage, and then I'm telling jokes, and I look down, and my dick is like a muffin or something like that, and I'm like, wait, and then
I feel like these are different issues.
maybe, yeah. And then suddenly I'm in at a funeral. I'm like, wait, and I've got the mic in my hand and it's now an ice cream. Do you know what I mean?
And your mom is there, and she's like, "You failed me, son."
Yeah, heckling me.
Okay, but what about when you have fights? In a dream, when you fight, do you usually win or lose?
This happens usually where
You
I
get
can't.
stuck.
Yeah, it's like I'm punching through water, or I'm punching someone as hard as I can and nothing's happening. They're just going I have that a lot. Do you ever have that kind of dream?
So for me, it's the other way around. I always fail. I always bomb my dream gigs. I always
Right.
forget my jokes, and I always bomb. But I always lose fights. I always
Right.
win fights. I always
you
win
do?
fights. But in reality, both things are the opposite of what it is.
Right,
of what I dream
right.
about.
Yeah, you do have good gigs and lose fights. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been asking other people to see if there is a connection.
Right. Yeah. I think mine isn't. It's not particularly losing the fight. It's just not being able to fight. So, and the stand-up one is more it's not win or lose. It's just all of a sudden that you're in this bizarre scenario. But I've had it once, twice. Yeah, like I said, where I've told this great joke, but then I imagine moments later in the dream a train just came in, drove into the club, that kind of thing. They're just never linear. They're just always absolutely tremendous. I interrupted
actually
you
had a
before.
gig.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I actually had a gig where a similar thing. Well, it didn't happen, but that gig in Lithuania, it was right in front of a train station, and you would have trains passing by, but like just right in front of you. So the train is a long train, and it makes so much noise.
Right.
So you basically have to stand there until the train passes. It was one of the venues because we had to do it because it was Corona and it was in the open field, so it was fine.
Wow. So you really can hear the train. Because I was imagining then, remember when we went to, when we do Comics Anonymous at the Tiki Lounge?
And Dan Baines was walking upstairs.
Yeah. I think that's what it was, every 20 minutes.
Whose joke was this? It's not Dan, it's not my joke. It's Connor Jennings, I think.
It was, yeah.
It's
it
Connor
was,
Jennings.
I think that night I was hosting it, and I said, I was like, every time the train goes past, you're going to have to make some sort of joke. And it was bad, really, because every time someone went on stage, they either made a good joke or the train would go past. It would ruin the rhythm, and they'd go, and then just go back into the jokes, and it was just always really awkward. But I think Connor said that. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, because I remember people.
Dan Baines, if you're watching this, Connor Jennings called you fat.
Hey, but he called himself fat too. So, and plus, he's not going to be watching this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's busy being fat. Oh cut this out. I love you, Dan.
Right. I'll ask you at the end of the episode if you really want it cut out. We both love
Hey,
them.
I'm very skinny, and I've been getting I've been getting lots of shit from people for being skinny. That's also body shaming, isn't it?
It is. I think it is. Because if you struggle to put weight on, well, I guess it depends. So for someone who's obese, it's like if it's a harm to their health, then it's like, oh, well, it's body shaming in a way. But if it's skinny as well, then it's like, oh, this is the way I look. But if it's also like you're anorexic or you're bulimic or it's just something you don't eat enough, then it's like in the same. But if you're just slim and you kind of like sprightly young man and you can just get around, you're athletic, then I feel like there's kind of not a privilege, I hate that word, but it's almost like it bounces off you. Do you know what I mean? Like someone calls you skinny, you're like, oh well.
Yeah, but everyone comes up to me and they take my arm and they're like, "You're so skinny." Or some people come up to me like, "Oh, I bet you can eat anything." Like I don't eat everything. That's why I'm skinny. You should stop eating everything. Like this is your problem.
That's funny because I had an ex who was slim, you know her actually, and she was slim, and family members, and whenever we go to places like with her family and stuff, or just we'd meet new people who are usually like middle-aged ladies, they'd always go, "Oh, I bet you eat nothing," as in like you mustn't eat anything to be that skinny, as if it's like I enjoy my life, but you.
Yeah, and your presence here reminds me of how much I hate myself for stuffing myself with food.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's probably what a lot of it is. Like they're grabbing your wrist, going like, and it's just really this jealousy thing of like, I wish my wrists were this small, but look at them, the folds and stuff like that. Like, do you know those Michelin Man arms that toddlers have, where they just roll up like this and they roll over the edge?
Yeah,
that's what they've got going.
But women do that a lot. Like, I feel like it's also like I found that being a bit on the fat side is a bit more popular with women than being on like too skinny side. Like that is my experience so far. Although I've never been on the fat side, so I cannot say that.
I don't know. Well, but I have been fatter than this. I've been like 13, 14
Yeah,
stone.
I remember.
Yeah, you remember those times. And you had to pull me out of, like, you had to pull me out of that house, you know what I mean? Like, they had to cut down the wall and get me out.
Take away the muffins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'd say even if girls, I actually disagree that girls prefer that. There's this whole like, oh, we like dad bods, but it's like, no, you really like muscles, but you're making your partner who doesn't have them feel better. And as well, if you are a bit chubbier, you're less confident, so that's less attractive. Whereas when you're in a shape you enjoy being in, then I think you
the worst one.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I feel like the worst one is the skinny fat. You know, it's
that's
when you're skinny, but then you also kind of have man boobs. It's like, where do they come from?
Yeah, it's like that's when you've kind of been chubby, but I'm kind of more. If I had to give a description of my my body shape, it wouldn't be like athletic or skinny or fat or chubby. It'd be like just unshapely. Do you know what I mean? Like
it has no
slim.
shape.
It's small, but it's like a melted candle.
like if you were a Lego, you wouldn't have a match. Like there's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
It sounds pretty sad, but.
true. Yeah, like the legs and the body torso wouldn't match, and it's all like.
Wait,
But
am I not speaking too loud because I'm with my headphones, so I might be speaking a bit too loud. Oh,
no, it
that's
sounds
fine.
alright.
Because you know when you're with your headphones.
Oh yeah, I've got mine in, so I'm sure I'm just shouting as well.
Are you?
Yeah, what was I going to say, man? So, oh yeah, in Lithuania now, I remember last time we spoke, you were saying that this was kind of like just before the first lockdown was lifted in England. You were saying to me that things were pretty much open there again in Lithuania. What's the situation now?
Well, let's say it backfired. It backfired a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, if someone listened before and listening now, don't open things. People are gonna die.
Right.
Old people, no more. Like there's so many.
I remember you saying like, it seems like they're just going, oh well, the old people will die. Just send them out like that. Like it seemed like that's what. Yeah, just like but everyone's a lot younger these days. Like
yeah, it reminds me of the. It reminds me of the Louis bit, you know, where he goes, if we do this to nut allergies, no more nut allergies in a year. For sure. So,
yeah.
I don't know if Corona would work the same way, but no, we have
Sorry, go on.
We have it more in control, but the lockdown has been going for like 2 months now, a month and a half, but like a proper lockdown. Nothing's open, but shops, and you have to wear your mask everywhere, even outside. Like
wow,
and it's -20.
Damn. So you don't even want to go outside.
Yeah, but can you imagine dating right now? It's just.
It's even difficult.
How about dating?
Here it's difficult because the only options are to just walk around. But yeah, that's it really. And if there's no option to walk around, then if it's raining or something, and I imagine -20 in Lithuania, it can't be fun to suggest that.
Yeah, you're basically risking to die. Like, do you want to go on a date with me and die?
Yeah,
that's what I say.
Some girls are like, nah. it's me or death.
Is it gonna be cold? The reason of my death, or is it
gonna be COVID? Not COVID either. Not COVID or cold. It's the fact that you want to date with me.
It's pillage and rape.
That's right. It's the European way.
Yeah. Oh, you're not. I forgot you're not allowed to say these words. When you're in the UK, there's so many things I could say when I'm in Lithuania that have no horrible meaning.
Right. I've started just treating it more like, at the moment, I'm trying to think of it like, if I say these jokes on the podcast or whatever, or even on stage, I'm just trying to make sure that people know that I'm joking. And then if anyone does take it out of context, then it's like, right, first of all, you've not seen the context. So why don't you watch the actual podcast? And when they do, and if they do, they probably won't. Anyone who's annoyed, then when they watched it, they would understand the context, and then I'm not just taking the piss out of things. Do you know what I mean? So
also, if it's a good joke.
Yeah.
If it's a good joke, it's nice. The one I said wasn't good enough for it to pull back. So there's always that. It's like this. It's like when you go on stage and you know that you're gonna say a joke that has something like a word that you shouldn't use, and then you're like, I hope it's good enough. I hope it's good enough.
I've had a similar thing. It's not to do with the word, but I remember at Retro Bar when Jordan Ducharme and Nick Martinello ran that night there. I remember having a bit about when I don't understand in films how when someone's wife dies in their arms, they don't just like drop them immediately, because dead bodies disgust me. And the whole joke was about like, if I had a dog in my like if I had a family dog and it died, the kids would be like, what do we do with the dog? Should we bury it in the garden? I'm like, no, just leave it here. We're burning the house then and all this stuff. And at one point when I'm doing the wife part, I dropped the mic on the floor to just kind of add some, like I'm dropping my wife as she dies. And as I hit the mic, hit the floor, it goes like that. And then I remember Jordan looking over at me. He came over, took the mic off me at the end of my set, and just said to me real quiet, like, never do that again. And I was like, okay. And then he came up to me afterwards and was like, the joke isn't worth the microphone breaking. Like, if you break the mic and ruin the entire night, that joke's not even worth it. It's like an all right idea,
Wow.
but to drop the mic on the floor for that, and it's the same kind of thing. If you're gonna use a word, like if you're gonna say faggot or something like that, there better be a good reason for it. Like using an example
Was this
of
a good
bad
enough
word.
reason?
I think it was. I
It
think that it
was.
was.
I
I
think
think it
it's
was.
education. It's education.
Exactly.
But at the same time, is there a good enough joke for you to drop the mic? Like he said that the joke's not good enough. I think it's funny, but like I don't see a good enough joke for you to drop the mic if it's not your own night. You know, like if you're Stuart
True.
Lee, sure, drop the mic. But if it's not, it's like
yeah, when people, I've seen a lot of, like Bill Burr does it a lot, Louis C.K. does it a lot, but I imagine they're getting like some durable mic that they've bought for that particular special or whatever. And if I am just going to someone else's night, I'm not even being paid to be there. I can't like, oh, take it out my money for tonight. It's like, no, I have to
yeah.
buy 2 drinks to even be here. Like, so it's definitely
I'll
not
give you
worth
my
it.
CD. You can sell the CD with my
Yeah.
autograph on.
People will really enjoy it after I broke the mic and ruined the night. That's actually the name of the special. Broke the mic, ruined the night. So
That sounds like something that would be on Spotify, honestly.
broke the mic, ruined the night.
Do you listen to comedy at all? Or
Yeah, just audio wise. Do you mean?
just like in general, do you consume stand-up comedy?
Yeah, still do. Yeah.
Do you? Do you miss it? Like
yeah, really
performing.
miss it, man. I've like because obviously we had Comedy Vault open when we went back after the first lockdown, and the first few weeks people were like so excited to go to watch like live performance.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was music, well, there
Yeah, I
wasn't
can
really
imagine.
music, but we kind of figured out a way around doing stand-up. So people were just excited to go and watch it, and then over the weeks as things became more and more like up in the air and like questionable about what's going to happen next, the audience just dwindled. So I kind of felt it coming, but I feel like during this time, because I think after the first one, when you go back to it, and I imagine it's the same for you, you're just so grateful that you're able to do it again, that you kind of get this new buzz for it, and you like start thinking of more material and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then because that's happened again, I've just been writing loads and loads of material, and it's shit because you have this idea that you just sit on. And I feel like when it's fresh in your head and then you go straight to stage, like either that
it's
night
organic.
or exactly, and it comes out. Whereas when you're trying to like, when you look in your phone and you're like, fire hose dog, what the hell is that? Like you're just trying to figure out what the key word was that you gave the little note in your phone. You're trying to figure out what the joke was. I feel like it's just, I'm sitting on all this like stuff that I want to go and test out. And I don't know. Yeah, I do miss it. What about you? Do you feel?
And I feel like once you're like doing your first gig after lockdown, you feel like all you have to talk about is coronavirus because it's like in the air. But once you start talking, you realize that you realize that people don't want to hear about it. Like
exactly.
At least that's what happened in Lithuania. Everyone prepared like corona sets, and then the first guy did it and it was fine, and then the second guy did it and he was like, okay, we kind of get it now. We want some comedy. And then all the other people have corona jokes, and it's like, okay, we want to think about fun stuff. Like,
I know.
Let's
honest,
leave the corona behind.
I kind of didn't want to do any corona jokes, like because I feel like whenever something is the hot topic at the time, I feel like I'm not going to be able to make my own unique spin on that topic.
Is corona hot? Is it a popular topic?
I think it's.
I've seen some stuff. I think I've seen some stuff.
Maybe I've seen around.
Some comedians mentioned it.
Yeah,
Some comedians mentioned it.
It's on the up. It's trending at the moment. It's like.
Yeah, I saw some Chinese websites talking about it, but
yeah, they were like. I think it's nothing to do with us.
I think it's still a niche.
It is, yeah. We really gotta crack it open.
I do remember when it was just a new thing, and I was talking with I think it was Tom Lawrenson, and then some other people. It was Jordan and Michael's gig.
Yeah.
And then I said, I feel like the Edinburgh is not gonna happen, and it was like a year ago.
Right.
And they looked at me like I'm fucking crazy, and I am so glad I'm not. I am so glad all these people died so I can be right.
Exactly. That's the main thing to be taken from this is we would just want to thank everyone who died because we made a prediction at one point, like it's going to be pretty big this, and then all those people died for our sins, just like Jesus. But
it's also very annoying that he died, because lately I've been feeling very sad about it. Like I finally in Lithuania, when I was here, I did lots of comedy, and I kind of started writing jokes that I like more. Like I started enjoying
Yeah.
comedy way more than I did before. And then
Right.
the whole thing happens, and I'm just so annoyed that it's happening at the point in my life where I am where I want to just do the thing I want to do, and I'm at this
Exactly.
age where I should, if I want to be good on it. And then the pandemic happens, and I feel sad about it, but I also feel ashamed that I feel sad about it when I get to just sit at home and do nothing. Like there's people that have much worse. So I'm in this like conflict if I should be angry at the pandemic, or if it's fine and I should just enjoy that I get to spend it, just watching TV series. Like this
Yeah.
cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I definitely have that feeling where, obviously, I'm 30 in a couple of months. So when I started doing stand-up when I was like 27. So it felt like almost like a bit late to it. Like I felt like it was the right time for it for me personally, but it's kind of late to be starting with it. I could only really get good at it in my get to a point that I'm happy with in my 30s or whatever. And for this year to kind of, when you're getting more and more momentum, for it to just suddenly be taken out of your life. But the point you were making about how you feel guilty about these other people who've got it way worse, it's like, I don't know, it obviously doesn't compare, but in our situation, it's like the thing that gave our life purpose and like meaning, and the thing we felt like was our reason to be getting up in the morning and stuff,
Yeah,
that's been taken away.
it's kind of like saying you cannot be happy because there's happier people. Like it doesn't make sense, does it? But at the same time, I do feel guilty because if I complain about it, then everyone else brings it up. It's like, well, you shouldn't feel guilty because you have it good, you know? And
Yeah,
if I told my worries to these same people, then they would say, oh, but you can feel guilty. So like, it's like everyone doesn't know how to feel about it.
true.
And
And there is definitely, I feel like having some guilt for it is healthy in a way, because you're at least thinking of those other people. I think there's some sociopaths who are just like, it's all a hoax. I need to get back outside. They're making up all this death stuff. It's for the like. They're just some people who are just only concerned with what they want to do, and they're not even adhering to any of the rules. And they're the people who they should feel really guilty, because they're actually going out causing like this to be prolonged. Where in our situation, we're trying to do the right thing, but it's also like, the day to day of like, oh, what will the future hold? What can I do today that will fulfill me? Blah blah blah. I feel like it warrants feeling like that, as long as you do also feel like you're grateful for your the fact that you're not in a worse situation, kind of thing.
yeah, so basically it's just being grateful, but also thriving for more, like in a
Yeah,
way.
true. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So, what have you been doing to keep busy? I've seen you doing a lot of sketches and.
I've been actually very, very busy.
Really, yeah.
Is that I feel like I'm way busier than I should produce way more content for how busy I am.
Right. Okay.
Because I'm still writing comedy, like at least an hour or two a day,
Nice.
just trying to get back into it. I've stopped for some time, and then 2 weeks ago I realized that if I do resum and then keep going, I'm gonna have a big an edge in my
Yeah. For sure, man.
and so I've been doing that, and it's been it's kind of like starting an old car. It's like in the first few days it's like it's
Yeah.
not really there, but then it starts going, and it's fine. And then I've been thinking about sketches, because I started a YouTube channel, but it's hard. Sketches are hard. I feel like stand-up comedy for me is easier than sketches.
Yeah. Because with stand-up comedy, it's like there's only one factor. Well, there's only a few factors to it, and it's to do with the way it's written, the way you're presenting it, and where it goes in the set and stuff like that. Whereas there's so many factors to a stand-up comedy. A comedy sketch, like whether or not you filmed it right.
Approach it. Yeah, you can approach it from so many different ways. Like it's so free that it's kind of bounding in the same way. Like it's kind of like when you have a green screen behind you, you better make it funny, or it's gonna look like you're try harding too much.
Yeah,
So
yeah, true.
like the more it's funny how the more freedom you have, the more caged you feel in a way.
Yeah. To be honest, it's like that at the moment. It's a good analogy for what's happening at the moment. Is that if you're not able to work, you're furloughed, and you're not able to go and do the thing that you are passionate about, like stand up or like a music or whatever it is, then because you're just in your house with all these TV shows you could binge and all this different stuff, I have this feeling of like, oh, I could do this, I could write this, I could make that, and I have all these ideas, but the free time is almost, and all the freedom to it is almost overwhelming. It's like I could do that, but the thought of all those things, it's like it just makes you want to I'll just stick that on, or I'll go for a walk or whatever. Having a routine, you almost want to say, if you do have to work, when you finish work, you go, all right, well, I'm going to squeeze in that. Like, I really need to feel like I'm being productive outside of work, so I'll use that hour productively. Whereas when you've just got all this free time, you're like, I'll do a productive hour at 3:00. I'm good for now. I'm chilling for now. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. My breakfast right now, like my breakfast used to be I planned it for half an hour. Like my breakfast now is 2 hours. In my mind, I have 2 hours to have my breakfast.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What am I doing? And I have my phone shows me how many hours I spend on my phone. So I spend 5.5 hours on average on a day. And I don't do anything with that information. Every night I just see it's 5.5 hours. I'm a piece of shit. I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow. I don't know how to solve this issue.
I know, and it's difficult at the moment because it's like sometimes I want to read a book that I've had sat on my bedside table for ages, or I want to like play guitar or something. So if I do kind of decide to do that, and it's often this battle in my head of I'm on my phone or I'm just watching a podcast, and I'm just like, you should do that. You've just been consuming things all day long. So I'll play guitar, but then it takes, I play a couple of songs and I'm like done with it. And then I read a bit of the book and I'm just, after a chapter and a half, I feel myself going, put it down and do something else. And I think it's the constant like short attention span stuff that we consume. You scroll and you're going, oh, watch that, it's a couple of minutes long, or even like under 1 minute videos. They're some of the best videos on YouTube, but you end up, it's exercising that like, oh, you only want things in small doses, don't you? You only want, I feel like I didn't used to be like that. I used to like be happy to watch like The Godfather, which is a couple of hours long, and it's nothing I can relate to or anything like that. Or I sit and listen to
even album. Movies right now, for me to consume a movie in one sitting, like that's almost impossible. As in like, and I've actually read a good book about working and like work ethics and how to work harder. And obviously the most important part is the concentration when you work. And it talked about the phone, and it's obvious that you shouldn't use the phone because it breaks the concentration. But it also had an interesting point that, for example, you are in a queue in a shop, and you have a urge to check your phone. And then you feed the urge by checking it. And then once you're at home and you're working, you're gonna have the urge to check your phone. And if you do check, if you don't check it, the urge is still interrupting your concentration. So you have to get rid of the urge, not the check-in. And to get rid of the urge, you have to not check it in the queue. Like you have to prepare yourself for the work session before it happens. And it was a nice point. I like that point.
I agree with that, because as you were saying that, I was realizing sometimes I don't have data on my phone. Like the data runs out and then I don't, or even like because I keep getting credit. I don't like having many contracts to things. So I've not had like a contract SIM. So I just like, I have one that's a SIM in there and then I just top it up kind of thing, like back in the old days.
Can you, just to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but can you imagine, like, I am the same. I'm afraid of a contract for my mobile phone, and my mom is asking me when I'm going to have grandchildren. Like,
wow. Yeah.
Exactly. So
at the moment,
why we're childless.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. I remember someone not long ago saying to me, like, you'd be a good dad, you know. And I'm like, at the moment, this is my financial situation. When I have a bit of money, I hide money in my room. Like I just put pound coins, like I'll throw a pound coin across the room or I'll hide it somewhere so that one day when I'm broke, I'll go, oh yeah, there's £6.50 hidden in this room. I'll go look for it.
You only get to do that in UK. I remember in UK having so much money I can throw around my room. So
Well, it's not that I have a lot of money. It's like I get like, say if I have £100 left over after bills and stuff like that, I'll take a bit of it when I've got change, and I'll go, if I put that in that little pot over there, as soon as I run out of money, I'll be like, I'll know that it's there and go and spend it immediately. Whereas if it's just in my room around different places, it's as if like when I've run out of money, one day I'll go, oh yeah, there is money in here, and it's like a nice surprise.
It's like hiding drugs. It's like your friends hiding drugs in your room. My friends do that too. My other friends, they hide drugs or cigarettes.
Right, nice.
What you really need it.
For themselves or for you?
But like for me or for my other friends, like we do it and they don't know, and then we just tell them like a month later, hey, by the way, I hid some stuff.
Yeah.
And the police is coming.
Flush it down the toilet quick.
Please. So we were talking about phones and
that's it. So the data, sometimes I don't have data on the phone because, like you said, I'd just rather just top it up when I can. If I don't have money, it's not just coming out of my bank. It's like, all right, well, I'll use Wi-Fi when I'm on it. If someone calls me, I'll go, oh, hold on, let me get on Wi-Fi, I'll call you back or whatever. So because I don't have data and stuff, sometimes I'll be out and my phone, there's nothing I can do on it anyway. I can't go and check Instagram. I can't just go on YouTube and watch shit. So it's just in my pocket. But what I do find happens sometimes, like I might be in a queue and I just have to deal with the world, or I'm on the buzz list listening to music or whatever. But if I'm just sat waiting in a queue and I can't, that urge comes of like, I need to distract myself. This is boring. I'll get my phone out and I'll just go through photos and just look at the photos on my phone. Like, oh, I screenshotted that meme ages ago. Like,
I play the most obscure games I have on my phone. I'm like, oh yeah, I have that. It's like, I hate that game. And it just scrolls through the menu looking for, like, I'm going to delete my apps that I don't use. Like, I'm still finding reasons to.
I know. Well,
the brain.
I know. I feel like it is something that, I feel like a lot more people discuss it now, knowing that the phone is like, it's a source of anxiety a lot. And I think that to go hand in hand with the stand-up thing, part of missing it is there's a certain thing that certain anxiety we probably have in our lives that everyone has to a degree, that if you do certain activities that give you like produce adrenaline and you just have to like think on your feet and it's like a scary environment like stand-up, then it kind of flushes that anxiety out. There's a reason for the anxiety then. Like it used to be, oh, there's a lion going to chase you, and that's why we have that in us. And if we put ourselves in an environment that is scary, like stand-up or whatever it is for every person, whether or not it's some sort of sport or something like that, then it fixes it in a way. It's like what we need for that anxiety. It helps it. Whereas our phone, it's like, because we have all this free time now and we're not getting that fix to relieve anxiety, it's like we're creating it even more. And I feel like when I'm on it constantly, there's nothing else really to do. There's like, I'm either watching on the laptop, I'm walking around and listening to music, or I'm on my phone. It's just a combination of the three. Then it's like, it's almost like an addiction completely. And it's feeding.
Oh, it is an addition. It is for sure. I feel like everyone has it. And I feel like some people downplay it too much. But I was speaking with this like a 19-year-old girl, and she just kept checking her phone because they grew up like that generation. It kind of like they grew up on Instagram. So for them, 5.5 hours like I do on a day is not that much. And she would wake up at night. I don't know how I know that, but she would wake up at night and she's 29. I'm sorry, not 19. She's 29.
19 is all right. She's legal.
No, she's 19. Fuck it. I'm a creep. This is my technique, by the way. This is my technique. 26.
Okay. See, that's not bad. Go on.
I like it. Look, this is my message to the world. I like 19-year-olds. So if someone's going to call me a creep in the future, you just tell them, oh, he told that on my podcast. It's not news anymore.
Exactly.
This is my technique.
I'll be like, people know that he likes 19-year-olds,
yeah.
All right?
If Chris D'Elia talked about it,
exactly,
everyone will be like, yeah, who gives a shit?
See, they'd be like, come on, it's not 19-year-olds, it's younger, isn't it, Chris? So yeah, exactly. I think you're getting away with it.
Exactly.
Don't worry.
Share the screenshots. I'm gonna share all the screenshots. Just post nudes of the girls you're with, just to show.
Exactly. Just to show that it's okay. All right. Any news you get,
Exactly.
you share them. Send them to me personally. I'll send them across the vlog.
Exactly. You send them. I'm just gonna share it. Okay. We got this out of the way.
Okay.
Where was it? Oh, so she would wake up at night to check the phone. She would wake up and check the phone. It's like she would have to go through the stories and check the phone.
Wow.
Like, it's crazy. It's like my grandpa. He would wake up to smoke a cigarette. Like, he would wake up
that's so crazy.
and he would smoke a cigarette.
It's the same. The two addictions. He's in his dream. He's going, oh, I fancy a cigarette because I have them so often. I imagine that's for the smoker who chain smokes every 10, 20 minutes to smoking. In the car, they have to smoke. In the job, they're like, I've got to go out for a smoke break. If they're in somewhere they're not allowed to smoke, they need to get out quickly. And in your dream, you must constantly be reaching for a cigarette. And then that urge is, come on, smoke. And then you wake up and you go, I need a cigarette now. And then you can go back to sleep.
I was a chain smoker. I wouldn't wake up at night, but I was like a pack and a half a day.
But I think that's like, so did you say it was your grandpa who did that?
Yeah, my grandpa would do that. Yeah. So it's the same with the phone.
Yeah, and your grandpa's probably been smoking all his life, and that girl has been on a phone all her life.
He's past 3 cancers now. Like, he's
just like robust old man.
Yeah, he's all cancer. He's all cancer now.
It's just he is cancer now. You can't defeat him.
Yeah.
He's become it.
Yeah, exactly. By smoking, he makes himself healthier.
Yeah. It's like when
he transcended smoking. He's on the other side now.
Yeah, true. It doesn't even smoke. Doesn't even come out anymore.
He wakes up at 3 a.m. to stay alive.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I better wake up and have a cigarette because I might die in my sleep. It's like drinkers, like Lenny from Motorhead. I remember hearing that his doctor said to him, like, he's like 60 odd at this time. And he was like, don't stop drinking because you'll die. Your body is reliant, because you've drank so much in your life, your body's reliant on it. And if you stop it, it'll be such a shock to your system that you'll just die immediately. And that's what they say. That's almost what that 19-year-old girl would say. If you took her phone off me, she's like, I'm dying. She'd feel like that. Oh my God, I'm dead.
Yeah, she would definitely get the shakes. You know,
for sure.
Oh, but I am not the one to speak. Like, I've been thinking about, since you have to stop comedy after, like, because I've been in Lithuania, I get to do it full time. Like, I get enough money to just do it full time.
Yes, that's awesome.
While I'm leaving, I want to be a foreign trash again.
Yeah.
I miss the trash life. Just give me some trash life.
It's pretty trash. No.
And this is the thing is, like, I did comedy all the time here, and once I stop, I do feel like it's such a huge addiction, but like not I don't know if it's only in a good way, as in, like, I'm so used to, just getting strangers, just imagine getting applause, like, every night, let's say, even if you do bad, people still applaud you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then just going to nothing. Like, I don't have any, like, I have no outside justification. What's the word? Like.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, there's no other source of getting that either. Like, in any
like
way,
my happiness was dependent, so dependent on other people, and now I feel like, I need the attention. I'm craving the attention.
Do you find this? Part of me hates it about myself, in the same thing with the phones. But part of me needs it, where you'll get a clip of your stand-up, or you'll do a little sketch, and you're sending it out hoping that, like, those likes are like this little, just this Diet Coke version of the real thing. Like, it's like, oh, well, people found it funny. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the stage time is what you want. That's the crack. But the just like
the likes, you mean?
Yeah, the likes is just the legal high that you got from the shop. It's just some shitty little. It's nothing really, like. But I feel like I still need that. Like, I'm like, I want to at least keep putting funny, because it's like, when you've not done it for so long, you go, was I ever funny? Was I ever good at it? And then you watch a video back and you go, I'm getting big laughs there, so I'm pretty sure I was
it's
all right.
It's not funny though.
It's yeah. So I wonder whether or not. Go on, sorry.
I definitely no, it's fine. I definitely feel like the need to make sketches is just like the part of me that craves for attention.
Yeah.
It's saying, do something. But like, I'm trying to find the happy middle, because like like if I stop doing, like, everything in life is for attention and craving, and it's just me wanting to be happy because of the outside sources. Me and Connor talked about it. But like the other side is just becoming a monk, you know, and just finding happiness within yourself, which is also, it's stupid. Like, so where is the happy, like, I need to find a happy medium where I'm not addicted to the likes, but I do need the likes for my career.
Exactly.
So you just need to find a happy medium, but which is hard to find. Like, I'm trying to find a balance, and it just switches from side to side.
Yeah, and I think that the stand-up especially is a thing that, so if you're a musician and you're trying to learn an instrument, you can do that in the privacy of your bedroom. And the way that you know you're better is that, say if you were playing along to a track, you can play it and nail it all, and you're like, oh, I am clearly better. So that and I want to go and continue performing, so that when gigs come back, I'll be tight and I'll be really good at playing my instrument. And that's the way you gauge how good you are at it. Whereas stand-up, it's like, the only way to gauge it is by an audience laughing at, and like getting that. It's like there's no scale of how good the joke is. You can't like say it out and go, right, well, that's perfect, that joke now. You'll never know until you try it out on an audience. So it's even like that with Instagram or YouTube. Like, you go in, I would like to just practice this by myself and just be zen about it and not think I need these likes, but you kind of do if you want to get better at the thing you're doing. So if you're making sketches, you need the likes, you need people messaging you going, it's good, this.
It's the currency of how good the stuff I make is, basically. It's just a review, let's say. I'm not posting, like, if I posted, I don't know, just you shirtless, let's say, well, then obviously the likes are just to feel good about how you look. But this is kind of like my career. Like, I just want to see how better I am at making jokes.
Yeah, and so if you are shirtless taking pictures and finding out how good you look, then you can actually tell that by how well you feel and how fit you are, and like just how you look in a t-shirt that you've had for years. There are other ways of finding that out, and to put it on the internet is purely for, look at me and give me attention. It's just purely for that. Whereas like we said, like, stand-up is like, there's a reason behind it. So I don't feel like that we should let ourselves feel too guilty about it, because there is a reason we need those likes, kind of thing.
But at the same time, I need the likes so I can become better, so I can get more likes. You know,
exactly.
I need more likes. Give me those likes.
Yeah. How are you feeling about this? Sorry, go on.
I wish I could just get off social media. Like, I wish I could take a break, but I do need it for my stand-up career. So it's like Louis C.K. has a different phone that he has with him, and then he uses the phone. He uses the smartphone when he needs to, do the social stuff, and then he has like a phone that has no internet connection when he writes.
Right.
So I've been actually thinking about getting that, because my phone, it has like a Zen mode. And I can set it for 2 hours and I cannot turn it off. Like, it's impossible. And I cannot do anything with my phone. So I set it for 2 hours, and then I have to write for 2 hours.
Right. That would be good.
That's my technique, but it's so hard. Like, my attention span is way too short for that to work. Like, I know what you mean. Like torture.
Yeah. And
you were asking something.
Well, to do with the social media aspect of it, I actually did have a big break from Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. And
you did?
It was like a couple of months. And when I went back to it, I felt like I'd kind of lost this momentum that I had gained with like being able to post things and getting a good reaction from it, because you're not showing up in people's feeds anymore, or people are, they're just not that interested. They've kind of forgotten about you even.
Yeah.
So it does make it is harmful to it. But I guess there is a way of, like you said, like that Zen mode thing is good, because it's like, then you have to dedicate time to not being on it at all. And
because you have no choice.
Yeah. And then when you do go on it, you're going to use that time more efficiently. If you give yourself a deadline of like, I can only be on it for this long, then you're going to do that. But like you said, if you're trying to like date or whatever, and you're talking to someone, you're like, you're like, oh, but I kind of do need to be on it to continue this conversation, because then when we're allowed back out in the real world, I might meet this chick or whatever. So you kind of, there's all these
Oh
different
yeah,
investments you have on your phone.
dating is probably the biggest thing that keeps me on my phone. It's
Yeah.
just something like that's why I need to find a girlfriend so I can just stop trying to find women on my phone. Like this is
Yeah.
fucking Tinder, on
Yeah.
Instagram. Like what am I doing on Instagram? Of course I'm just checking out women. I did this thing where I unfollowed every girl that wouldn't reply my DM, just to not crave. Like
Right.
this is
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
this is like the thing that people do, like guys do on the internet. So you wouldn't crave, you don't go and like,
Right.
ah, yeah, so you just unfollow
Right.
every girl that you don't know, basically. You just keep the
Yeah.
people, the acquaintances. And then I muted stories. I
I
just
do
muted
that.
stories of women and men. I just mute. So, because it's just
'Cause-
the monkey brain just goes, ah, ooh, ah. And I
yeah,
cannot work.
exactly. Yeah, it's like I often find that if I ever am in that mode of like, oh, I need to satisfy this urge that I've got, whether it's sexual or just the urge to like feel like affection from someone. I'll often, if I am going that route where you're like looking through old contacts and stuff like that, and you get in touch with someone, I often just feel like after I'm like, that was well not worth it, and like, and not having that option on your phone of like being able to just go like, I'll chat to her again or whatever. You
Mhm.
kind of like, and as well like not seeing it either. Like you said, I do that where I mute people's stories and I like hide posts and stuff. So what I'm seeing on Instagram is either about comedy or about photography or videography or like just stuff that I'm interested in rather than like other people's
Exactly.
lives.
But I'm trying to filtrate like my Instagram too. But it just, it spams you with all these sponsored stuff, and you
I
should follow
know.
this. I don't care. Like they know I'm a guy. They know I crave for boobs and stuff. So they
Mm,
play on that all the time. Like NoFap is popular right now, and if I did NoFap, I wouldn't do no work. Like that would be like I
right.
do porn free. I do porn free. Like I try to be porn free, but
Yeah.
like NoFap, how do people work? Like if you're NoFap, how do you concentrate on stuff? Like how am I
I
supposed to
know.
write when the cum is in my brain just
Exactly.
fucking,
Just leaking out your ears.
yeah, leaking
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. I like, for me, it's like the whole no fap wouldn't work for me because it's not like I'm like, oh, I need to do that. It's more like I feel like I'm doing that every day as medicine. I'm like going, well, you better do that so that you're more clear minded, you're not as angry. It's just like part of my daily routine. Like, you better do that so that you feel better. So
You
the
mean
idea of
fapping or no fapping?
fapping,
Fapping.
yes,
Yeah,
fapping.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the fapping. No, I get no fap. No fap is cool because people say that like after 60 days you stop getting the urges. If you
Mm,
it kind of leaves your mind, but I don't know. Like porn free, I'm fine with porn free. I feel like
yeah, that's
porn
good.
is not that great,
No, it
but
isn't.
a lot of my friends lately, like guy friends, have been trying to get off porn. Like this is a new craze amongst guys. I don't know if it's the
Mm.
same with you, but
No, no,
like, what
I'm
is that?
definitely feeling like, because when I watch it, I'm like, I have this feeling of it's just kind of too much. It's like I don't. I want to. I remember when I would watch a movie scene or even a music video with a girl in, and it's just the most subtle thing ever, and it would turn me on loads. Or like even like you meet a
Mm,
girl, and it's just like touching her hand is sexy because you
yeah.
fancy her. And I feel like when you watch too much porn, it's like if she's not spitting in your gob and like punching you in the face, then it's like, oh well, what are we doing here? Are we just is this what is this like? This is
When you
nothing. Are
have
we in the 50s kind of thing?
exactly, I haven't watched porn in a while now, and like even normal Instagram posts by women that are like not revealing or anything,
Yeah.
they're porn to me now.
Yeah,
Like
that's.
this
I feel
is
like that's way better, to be honest, because you're increasing your sensitivity in a way, in a good way, I think, because then it's like you're able to enjoy. If you go out on a date now and you meet a new girl, you're able to actually enjoy the little things that you used to enjoy when you were a teenager, where your arm would brush against hers and you're like, I touched her for a second, or like
yeah,
whatever. Like
yeah.
I can
I'm gonna
see
fab thinking about this.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. I saw her hip her hip bone.
Oh,
I'm going to think about
this is
that
like
for years.
3 fab sessions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Me and Connor,
really squeeze that out.
me and Connor were talking about it. Like, if you don't watch porn, then you obviously fab to your fantasies, and usually it's like memories. Have you noticed, like, once you have like a memory that you fab to, it's like you kind of get bored of it, but like a month later, it's like new again. Oh, I can revisit this. Like,
Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot about her. Like, I'll think about that again.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm sitting at my desk and I'm like, let's
Stacey.
go.
I've
Yeah,
been on
exactly.
Rebecca for months, but Stacey, yeah.
Boobs.
Boobs. I've just been thinking about ass. I've just been thinking about elbow. I'm that sensitive at the moment. Just that sexy
Oh,
elbow.
definitely. Oh, but I've noticed that women watch a lot more porn lately. Maybe it's because of the lot. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the women I talk to, but
Right.
and I'm not a big fan of when women watch porn, because when they do, every time a girl says like I watch a lot of porn, I'm like, oh no, I'll have to beat you during sex 1 hour.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because this is what happens to them. I don't know what happens to them, but they just wanna. I feel like everyone talks about what porn does to guys, because like that's obvious. We all watch porn and it definitely does something to the brain. But like the subject of what it does to women is not that much talked about. Like, because it has to do something. Like it's not like we're resilient for some reason, you know.
To be honest, some whore that I was with not long ago. No. No. I just pronounced girl wrong. She was saying.
Oh, you meant hoe? Okay.
Yeah. She was saying she was like, oh, don't even worry about sorting me out. And I was like, what? Why? And she went, I just know that it won't work. I have a drawer full of toys and I'm watching porn constantly during lockdown. So to her, it should be really the other way around. It should be like, oh, these, like, for a man, it's like, my hand is pretty good, but an actual woman is much better. Like, whereas for these women, it's like, well, sorry, but the toys are too good. The porn that I watch is too good.
How can you compete like with that toy? Like, it has like a little suction that sucks the clitoris in. Like,
exactly.
I don't have that thing. Like,
I can't do that with my mouth. I can't make it happen.
We've been talking that women are gonna be replaced by like sex bots. Now I think we are gonna get replaced by whatever they have.
Imagine if it was women in charge.
Crazy.
It would be like men just do all the heavy lifting, and then they just have like amazing foot robots with like the dick is the right size. It's got a little rabbit hanging off it. It has little different thing with all just crazy shit.
My friend and I, we're doing this project, and we have to shoot like 5 commercials for like a sex shop, and we can choose 5. We have to choose 5 different objects and then do like a commercial for each. Like, it's not hard. It's like a small thing.
Is this like you getting paid for this as well?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because basically we made like this big project, and then we are selling ads to put on the project. Right. So like in the middle of the project, and the sex shop we're making the. So basically, what happened 2 hours ago, we were choosing the stuff from the website that they're gonna send it to us, so then we can make the ads.
Yeah.
Oh, they have some crazy fucking stuff. Like, they have cages and like big proper 2,000 pounds cages, you know, and it's like all that, like there's 30 different kind of dildos, like different kind of, like they're all different
shapes,
like they're with Bluetooth connections, you know, and they're very, very expensive or a bit cheaper. It's crazy.
Wow.
You cannot compete with those things. And you know, the funny thing is that even like the toys that are towards men, it's to pleasure the girl. Like these toys are still the men gets to control the pleasure.
Yeah, exactly. Or like the thing is, there's a ring around your cock, and you're not already not enjoying this plastic thing on your cock, but it's so that it vibrates and pleasures the woman. Like, it's like this is a sex toy for you. It's like, no, it's plus like any sex toys that are for men, like fleshlights. That to me is like a woman. She gets a little thing and she puts it on her, or she puts the thing up inside her and she controls that. The idea of me putting my dick into a contraption is just terrifying. Like, I feel like it's just going to
Yeah.
swallow it up and break it. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be the
Create a
first
vacuum.
person. Yeah, it malfunctions on. I don't want to be that guy like walking into A&E just holding this thing like. It turns out it was a flashlight, like that kind of thing.
I feel like every single guy is afraid of the same thing, but someone's buying them. I feel like there's also like a lot more, like as a guy, you're not allowed to use sex toys. Like as in like, it's so, if you're told to use a flashlight, oh boy, like that wouldn't be a good look. But
that openly admits it. Zack Slater openly admits he has a flashlight.
Yeah. So who does Slater does?
Yeah, Zack Slater. Yeah, he said on my podcast actually. He said like, "Oh yeah, I have a flashlight," and I was like, "Wow."
Now I'm pretty sure it's just a glass with a sponge in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just a
makeshift flashlight. And then his mom moves it, so it's also automatic.
Mom operated. Yeah. I think that's how
no batteries.
Yeah, exactly. Mother not included.
That's later. Why is it always so funny to roast you?
I know, it is. I'd like him to watch this and tell me, but I remember where he often will only tell me about a part of the podcast he's watched is if he noticed that I've mentioned him, or like when he watched the one that me and him did back, he was like, "Oh, there was this bit where I said this and you proper laughed." I was like, "Oh, right, cool." He wasn't like, "Oh, you said this funny thing," or "We had a good discussion." He was just like, "I said this thing and you really laughed at it," and I was like, "Yeah, I thought."
It's like what are you supposed to say back then? Oh, Slater, you're really funny. That's why I laughed. It's a funny thing that left your mouth.
Exactly. Like my laugh is that's the recognition. I gave you it in the moment. I laughed. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to tell me again about it. Like, oh, do you know, remember that time when I made you laugh? It's like, oh yeah, ha, ha, ha. Like that was funny.
Take some more attention, please.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want some more?
Hey, you should tell Slater that we talked about him. And it's funny because it's so late in the podcast, so he's gonna listen to it all. And tell him we talked quite a lot. And hello, Slater, this was a trap.
Trap. We're actually going to reveal your biggest, darkest secrets.
That you're a trap.
That you're a trap. You catfish people on the internet. What else were we talking about? Oh yeah, I was actually going to ask you this about the whole do you not think with these sex toys things of that advert you were doing, like the cages and stuff like that, I feel like I like just pretty regular sex. The most I'll go is like, oh, I'd like it if we used like oil and you gave me a lap dance, but that's not too crazy. That's like going for a massage and going to a strip club. They're like pretty regular things for a man to enjoy. I'm not like spit in my eyes and call me grandmother or something like that. I'm not that guy.
This girl once asked me to spit in her mouth and tell her I love her. And I cannot do both. Like you have to choose. Like these are two opposite things.
They both take a lot for me to do. It's spitting in your mouth, it kind of takes a lot, but saying I love you, that is really.
I'm way more vanilla than this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can shit in your mouth. No, I love you.
Not saying I love you. No way.
Did you see Two Girls, One Cup? Did they say I love you? No, because then it would be censored. It would be beep.
Yeah. You cover a mouth for that entire part.
But the shit is in the cup. But
yeah, exactly. And they just.
So you were saying you were vanilla, but what about like choking? Because that's like if you don't choke, are you even having sex right now?
I know.
Like this is.
Yeah, if I don't ever do that, the girl's like, you can do that, and I'm like, I know, every girl wants it. I don't
want to kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, but I had a girl once do it to me, and I was like, and I'm like, because you can't go. That. You're hurting me because you just like that's the most pussy thing to say during sex is to go, excuse me, you're hurting me. And she like just tries up immediately.
I don't feel like a man anymore.
You're emasculating me. Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt when the girl did it. But I feel like it's also funny because every girl wants to be choked, but they all tell you as if it's like they're the first ones to tell you. Like I have a secret. You're not gonna believe this.
It's like I know what it is. Yeah. Don't.
Is it gonna be choking? how do you know?
Oh my God.
Well, I did BJJ just so I can choke you better. Like that's
You want to be put to sleep, right? Do you know what I was
Yeah.
thinking recently? It's funny how two of the things that turn girls on a lot, like, well, fantasies that women often like to do are like, be aggressive to me, like be forceful and all this, almost on the verge of rape, a horrible thing that people do, or like choke me, slap me kind of thing. It's like a beating me thing. It's like beating your wife. And there's also like, there's like the, like a girl being like, oh, I want to be spanked, like wearing a school uniform and all this stuff. Pedophilia. Imagine if it was like racism. Like, I want you to be racist to me.
Imagine I'm Chinese. Imagine I'm Chinese
and you are Japanese and you really hate me like that. Like,
kill our baby. Stab it.
Yeah. We're only allowed one. Keep saying that to me.
Drop the bomb.
What were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, I don't remember. One second, I'll remember. It was definitely something like, because you asked me if I'm more of on the vanilla side, but I feel like I'm vanilla. It has been shifting.
It has, yeah.
To the degree that I don't know what's, and I'm adjusting. I don't want to say that I don't like it at all. Sometimes I do like it less rough than I feel like a lot of women do. And I have to pretend a bit like I'm you know, like, but
I think girls don't understand that. It's like, I like it rough. I like being choked. Do you like it? And you go, yeah, because you like it. I'm only doing it because you like it. Like when I grab your neck and you go, and your eyes roll in the back of your head and you enjoy it. That's what I'm enjoying. I'm not enjoying choking a bitch. I'm not enjoying that. Like if I was choking you, you're going, I wouldn't be enjoying it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I tried to explain it to a girl and she said, no, but I had guys who really loved it, like the act. And I was like, no, they were good actors.
Yes.
Like they're good at acting and then they get hooked on your reaction. That's what it is.
That's definitely what it is.
If it took milk to pour on you for you to come, that's what I would do. Like that's what would turn me on.
Yeah. Like, whoa, I just used milk. You've been telling all your mates. Honestly, it's just this girl. She just pour milk. She comes immediately, like.
And then you'd see milk shortage the next day. It's just
exactly.
More milk.
And you would be like, you wouldn't look at milk and get turned on. But because you look at milk and it reminds you of when that girl was like writhing in bed because you were pouring semi-skimmed on her, then you're gonna be like, see the milk and be like, oh, I'm kind of horny now. You're not attracted to the milk. It's because the idea. Milk powder. Yeah.
If girls told us that they like anime, like we would be speaking Japanese like the same day, like having sex
dressing
with them.
Crazy and
Exactly. I feel like girls don't understand that they completely control the sexual market. Like you do understand that, but not completely. Like if you want to get rid of a trait that a guy has, just let no women fuck that guy, and that trait disappears. Like we just adjust. If you want all of us to be vegetarian, just
stop fucking meat eaters.
Stop fucking meat eaters. Yeah. That's it. We release all the chicken the next day. Like just billions of chicken roaming the streets.
Oh my God, this is all you wanted. Oh my God, that's all you wanted. Oh my God, go ahead.
You coming yet?
Yeah. Some people in KFC dropping their orders and just running out. Like, fuck that. We're gonna get laid. We're finally gonna get laid.
Yeah, you have so much power.
But so you'd say you're pretty vanilla when it comes to it. You don't really want anything too crazy.
Well, but now that like the thing, it's funny because we're talking about this right now. Well, it's probably because I have that thing going on. But we could choose 5 things that we like sell, and then we get to keep them. So we wanted to choose something that we're gonna use. So I had to establish how vanilla I am, you know, because I have to choose. And they have numbers. It's like number 1 set. And this is number 2 for people that are a bit more in the BDSM area.
Yeah.
Spicy,
it's like
so it goes
chart
like
and Nando's, like mild to hot kind of thing.
exactly. And then Mexican.
Crazy. You get like all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
There's a wall and But
what did you end up picking?
So I'm 4 out of 10. Like I could actually say like there is 10 parts, and then the number 4 had all the stuff that I would still be fine with using, but number 5, it's like, well, this is a bit too much now.
Yeah,
but it's there's nothing crazy on it. It's just like blindfolds and some like some spanking things, like that's, and then it proceeds to be like a bit more like a bit more sophisticated ropes, you know, that I'm never gonna.
You probably get them and be like, "This is handy. I'll tie it to the back of the car and take that stuff."
Yeah,
like you end up
exactly.
using them practically.
I'll kill myself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's erotic asphyxiation, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Yeah, there you go. I was going to kill myself, but then I decided, they actually are useful. They get me off. I only discovered it when I was. That's a Rory Scovel joke that actually I've just realised. That's where I've got that from. Yeah, he says, if you're going to kill yourself, why not try erotic asphyxiation? He's like, you never know, it might save your life. Like,
I remember
it gives you a reason
amazing.
To live. Yeah, so good.
No, I'm an ass guy. You like touch my ass, babe. Like that's where my pleasure centers are. But it's so hard to tell it. It's so hard to tell it to a girl. Like in UK, I feel like it's a bit more liberated. Like no one cares. But in Lithuania, it's a bit like emasculated. Like it's not gay.
Right.
It's just like you're not like I want you to be dominant, and you want me to touch your ass. Like it's
Well, if you like grabbing a hand,
sorry.
Hello, you were touching your ass.
Back.
I came. Yeah, I knew it. That's what happens.
This is my cum T-shirt, by the way.
Is that what
this is where I. This is where I come. It's not. No, it used to be black.
Just put it on and have a wank on it, and it has a picture of you as a child.
Yeah, I throw it at people and I say, "This is my cum T-shirt," and they laugh because they think I'm joking.
Straight in the mouth. But yeah, I feel like that's something that you could just the ass thing. You don't have to even have to say it. You can just show them, like grab onto that kind of thing. You just grab the hands, and then because you keep pushing the hands there, they'll be like, "Oh, I think he likes that." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is like you take their hand and then you just look there.
Because girls will go like this, they'll go like, and you go, I know. I just thought we were at the beginning. Yes. I thought we were building up. Like, I didn't want to put my best cards out at the beginning, kind of thing.
No, I do feel like choking right now just goes before kissing. That's where we are. Kissing is way more intense than choking.
It's like, God, I'm not kissing the guy, but he can almost make me pass out. Yeah.
This girl she actually like shamed me like for not being as aggressive as her ex. Like this is like after sex is like, oh, you're not as aggressive as my ex, and I would like you to be. This is not something you say to a guy.
No, and I feel like girls get away with that more, like being able to just be absolutely brutally honest to someone. Whereas
because we're not allowed to react.
Yeah. And if we're like,
I'm not allowed to like,
smack her or something. Who's aggressive now?
No, she's gonna like it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like the punishment would be to not choke her.
That's what she was trying to do.
Exactly.
You're a little pussy,
the thing is, like, she told me like my ex, he pushed me against the wall so hard, like I almost passed out. Like this is exactly what she said. This has happened like 2 months ago, and then I was like, well, I don't want to do that.
Wow. You know, like, I don't want to. Yeah, because I don't want to be the reason that your head smacks against the wall, and then I'm
exactly
bringing an ambulance for you. If you want to live on the edge, then I don't know. You've got to wear a helmet or something. You have to start wearing knee pads and elbow pads.
Like, we're playing rugby and
exactly. having sex. Yeah. It's like if you want to be like a motocross biker, you have to wear a helmet. It's just part of the deal if you want to live on the edge. So if you want to get pushed against the wall and choked, and you're going to need to wear more protection.
Well, I'm waiting. 100 years later, we're all gonna have like seatbelts during sex, and there's gonna be law enforcement and.
Exactly, everyone has to do it on this safe bus, on the sex bus. You all get your own pod.
There's a lot of stand-up comedy in there. Like if you produce it, this is what I've been thinking I'm gonna write about in the future. Like just like the whole, why are we so sexually? And I'm not kink shaming. I like all this stuff, but why are we like becoming more and more I don't know, even like, let's say animalistic. The more liberated we are, the more sex-free we are too. Like,
I think it's
the more human we are, the more animals we are. Like,
yeah, I think it's because it's going back to the thing of like the anxiety we have and stuff like that is for a reason. We used it once. We had to go and deal with wars and stuff. Not us personally, our ancestors had to go and deal with heavy shit in their life. Just your brother would die, and you're like, oh, that's the third brother to die this year, and you just deal with it. Like, there's no room for that. So, and there's fights. There's like, for women, there was a threat of men and like rape and all these different things. So it's like this animalistic thing inside them. And the more vanilla our lives are, I think the more you seek that, like in your, like the more comfortable. That's why like you know, these businessmen who want like crazy shit. Like they're like, oh, I want you to like tie me up upside down like a bat and like cough in my face, like whatever. Just ridiculous shit, like all Corona themed. But because they have such like, they have it so easy in their lives because they've gotten to the point of such luxury and like,
it's like an American Psycho, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where you get to that point where you're like, oh, I need a thrill. Like being, I feel like when you live at the bottom of society, you're broke all the time. There is that all day, like, am I going to be able to afford my next meal? That kind of thing. Like, am I going to be able to pay
I don't care
rent?
about fuck. When I fuck, I don't want to use energy because I've got to replenish it with calories that I don't have. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
choking burns more calories.
Exactly.
So.
You called me skinny before we had sex. That's the reason I had sex and slapped you like you wanted. Like you call me skinny, I slap you. You said that's what more like my ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, I choke so many women that I just lose calories and I'm skinny now.
It's a really good workout.
I just really wish that someone cut this part out.
I don't know who could possibly. Oh right, someone will cut it out. Oh, I thought you were like maybe someone could, and I'm like, oh me, but you mean someone will take it out?
Can you please post this? Can you please post that part?
Make us look really terrible. I think we probably better wrap it up a little bit soon because I'm just worried we could do this for 3 hours. So
for sure.
But we've got a good lengthy episode on there, man. It was a good episode. That considering we're doing the Zoom thing as well, I feel like it was easy to keep the conversation going.
Yeah, I had lots of fun. I had lots of fun. We didn't talk lots on each other, you know, as it usually happens with like the Zoom calls and stuff.
True. Yeah, we managed to like keep it going. I kept trying to like I interrupt, then I go. Go ahead.
Because there's also delay, so it's
true.
Let's see
that was me like pausing for effect. Before we go, do you know what? I'll make this point actually. I've noticed on the analytics on my YouTube page. I looked recently. There was a huge spike in the viewers, and it was your episode with Connor, and it shot.
That's why I'm here again. You want to use my puppet?
We already talked to it, and I was like, "Oh right, well, I'm sure." I knew we'd be talking soon, and when I saw that, I was like, "I imagine people will be coming here for you, like mostly." So
yeah, I'm sure Lithuanians are not big with Phill Sutton.
I know they don't really know me, but now that you've,
it's crazy. I'm gonna spread the news.
Thanks. Click subscribe. But
after every gig, I'm just gonna be like, "Thank you, I was Phill Sutton," and then
exactly. Yes, like Mark Norman with the Kevin Hart thing.
Yeah, like exactly.
But anyone who is watching now, what can they expect to see online, or where can they find you and stuff like that? Like your YouTube channel.
I'm trying to make my YouTube channel, obviously, to be. I want to be more active on it, and my goal was to post a video every 2 weeks because it's just hard to do it every week. But now the 2 weeks are tomorrow, and I made a video, but it's shit. Right. So you're not gonna see it because I'm keeping the quality, baby. Like I just wanna keep the quality going.
Yeah, so that's good.
Just follow me on my IG, and I promise I think about it every day. If I don't post anything, it's because I didn't come up with anything.
I'll put the links in there and everything for everyone to find it.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it a lot. I'm thinking I want to reach 10,000 followers on IG before I go to UK. So
right, nice. Man.
If you're listening to this, you probably already follow me. But if you don't, help me reach my goal.
Yeah, and I really enjoy the stuff you put on there, man. I'm always messaging you saying that's fucking hilarious. Like,
Yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate people from UK sharing it and stuff.
Yeah,
because that's
so
why I do it
man.
in English, right? Like I could do it in Lithuanian.
Oh yeah, true. But yeah, you want to make us. Most people in Lithuania understand English anyway, right? So.
Yeah, and the people I want to make content to, I want them to understand English anyway. So it's good to filter the people. You know, like I like the filter part of it.
Yeah,
it's just a bit hard, like because I have to, like, when I write sketches, I try to come up with characters that the character like would explain why I have an accent. So then it doesn't feel like the sketch. Like I don't have to be a native speaker if the character is Norwegian, you know.
Yeah.
But that kind of cages me in. And what I want to do is I want to post like Instagram stories. I post Instagram stories in Lithuanian in like closed friends group because I'm practicing. But I don't want to do it in English because I feel like it's a bit cringy because everyone knows I'm in Lithuania. And if I did it in English, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? So when I'm going to UK, I'm going to do a lot of story stuff. I'm just going to do bits
I don't know,
Instagram stories.
I wouldn't worry about the doing it in English and it seeming... the end goal for you anyway is to get more and more followers. And if it is in English, then like you said, you're going to be able to spread it around England way more. And like, it'll even become more, like you could go viral in America and stuff like that. I wouldn't worry about what people thinking like, why are you doing it? Why are you in Lithuania doing it in English? Like,
yeah, I know what you mean. It's just a bit hard to get over that, you know, the wall that I've built in my mind.
Right.
But once I'm in UK, people know I'm in UK. So it makes sense why I speak English. But once I'm like in an obviously Lithuanian setting, speaking to mostly Lithuanian followers in English, it does feel a bit like it does feel a bit fakey. I know what you mean. Okay. I should get over it. Like, who cares? But it's still, there's that thing in my mind.
I can't really imagine it because there's not a similar thing for me. But yeah, I can see how I have a lot of things where before I post something, I'm like, oh, what about this? Will this person think this of it? Blah, 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 blah. And I go through this filter of it. But you could even, I don't think it's some of the stuff you do, it isn't obvious that it's Lithuania. You're in Lithuania, and it's not. I feel like it's like a lot of English speakers would just be like, oh, this guy's from Eastern Europe. And it's just a sketch. Like you could be in America, you could be in England, kind of thing. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
The sketches are fine. The sketches are fine. It's just mostly like Instagram stories, because I feel like Instagram stories are a good way to build an audience, honestly. Because once you start posting more and they're funny, like I feel like people share them quite a lot. I feel like we undervalue the value of Instagram
because it's
stories.
15 seconds often, and people just want that. Like, oh, that'll do. I'll just use that. I'm always afraid of putting something that, apart from podcasts, but anything that's too long, like longer than 5 minutes, I feel like people aren't even going to click on it. Whereas a story or
some of them won't. Some of them are going to unfollow and mute, but I guess that's just part of it. But I feel like Instagram stories are a good way to show like your character, like your true self, like a podcast. Because in sketches, I'm all these characters, but who am I? Like, why would you care about me? But I feel like Instagram stories is a good way to meet me and like to like me as a person. Yeah, and I feel like that's a way to build fan base. So
yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that, getting to 10K subscribers.
Yeah, 10K followers on Instagram.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think you're on your way.
It's gonna be funny it's gonna be funny in UK when I get gigs, because I have lots of followers, and then the people that book gigs are gonna be like, he's gonna bring lots of people. Well, they're all here.
yeah, they're all the other comedians. Yeah.
and they're all in Lithuania. They're not gonna go to Brickyard.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Yes.
Well, thank you, Phill.
Been a good conversation, man. Thanks for coming on and that.
Thank you. Cut out the rape part. Yeah.
Don't cut out the rape part. Okay, I got that clear.
Exactly.
I think that's the only time it went. That was the only time it lagged the entire time. You said, "Don't cut the rape bit." Okay.
Yeah. Don't cut. No cutting the rape part.
Definitely.
It shows my character. My character.
Just like an Instagram story. Of right. Thanks for watching, everyone.
See ya. Thank you.
Peace.